Speed.
Quiet on set. Remember to mouth to each other, no actual talking. Quiet on set. And background action.
And action.
In 2000, I had the privilege of going to Africa for the first time, and we showed the Jesus film with a generator in the backcountry of Tanzania. And it was the first time in my life that I saw misery and suffering and poverty on such a massive scale, and I was overwhelmed by it. I remember night after night opening the generators and setting up the canvases and watching people come and see a film, many of them who had seen a film for the first time. And people would raise their hand and respond to the gospel message in the hundreds and thousands, and I was so touched. But when we packed up the screen and started to drive away, I was just distraught that there wasn't more we could do for them. And so this film started in my heart, standing in Africa over 5 years ago.
I got a phone call from a guy named Chuck Bentley, who I never met, and he had seen some of our work and wanted us to review a script called Widow and Oil. And I read it, and obviously I had never seen anything like it come across my desk.
Well, the collaboration with the Erwin Brothers became something that I think was God ordained. They're artists. They have a fresh way of presenting things visually. That was the power of a great director.
And John came to me and he said, you know, he had gotten kind of a strange phone call.
Andy and I have recreated American history, 9/11. We've worked with a lot of great people in the music industry, but certainly we've never recreated the Bible. And not many filmmakers, get an opportunity to do that.
But then we realized as we started talking through it that they wanted to recreate this in a large-scale fashion.
And cut! Great job, everybody! One more time, quickly!
And so it's a very intriguing idea. Could we bring this world to life? And so I began talking to Chuck and probably had more questions than answers.
Chuck had really researched the learning styles of what's the preferred learning method of the illiterate in just third world countries.
I did a listening tour, and that was to gather information to understand what was their preferred learning style, what was the preferred means for delivering that content. It was very interesting because they said, we want high quality DVD that is very dramatic. We want our emotions moved, and we want something that's not very long so that we can watch it over and over and over, and we will embrace the story and we will tell others. And so one DVD can reach hundreds of people in a village. And so this format that we chose is exactly what they ask us for.
We believe in the wow factor, and if we're going to do this, we want to do it right. The first question was obviously what anybody would ask: where in the world are we going to film this? I had been doing an event for ABC down in Orlando, and I remember seeing this billboard that said the Holy Land Experience. And I thought, I wonder if there's any sets there. I was blown away by these full-scale, period, biblical sets that existed down there. And it just worked out where we could have the entire theme park for a day. So we had one day to shoot a 10-page script, which is impossible by most standards.
We decided we wanted to bring it to life, we wanted to take it on. It was a challenge. It was one of those situations where John and I looked at each other that we often do when we step into a bigger world and say, can we do this? I don't know, but let's try it.
And without any prior experience, with no rehearsals, in one single day, we shot The Widow and Oil. When
we started filming, when we looked at what we were getting in the camera, it was just a magical quality. And I felt like we really not only captured the story, but just the heart of the story. And it had just a very emotional feel to it.
We wanted to create authenticity. We wanted you to feel what this woman felt and to understand her world and to begin to enter into the story for yourself. We didn't know if we could do it, and we got it all in the can in one day, and we're able to bring this world of the widow and oil to life.
One of the subtle things about doing film work that I didn't understand is how powerful the music is.
The question was, who does the music? We wanted, there again, we wanted authenticity. So we wanted music that sounded ethnic and sounded Middle Eastern. And we tried a couple different sources, and then we finally found Paul Mills.
And so we sent it out to Paul Mills in Nashville and asked him to take a shot at it. And it came back far greater than what we had ever anticipated.
And he just really took the extra time to grasp the concept, and then he just dove into it.
It was good to kind of know what the underlying emotions were and to try to capture that with the music to help it almost be like part of the dialogue. So that's my challenge. That's what my challenge is to come up with something unique that will capture the emotion. And all the instruments you hear, even some of the stringed instruments, are Middle Eastern-based authentic strings. All the solo instruments are from the Middle East. There's two ladies singing on this soundtrack, one from Syria and one from Bulgaria. And it's not like, oh, here's the music, listen. It's like it melds into the whole sculpture of the film and becomes something, an experience that the audience can just believe in and be transported out of this time.
As a first-time executive producer, I had no idea it was going to come together this well. And the amazing thing to us about it is that the story came together and came so alive that people love it. They have engaged with it. It's memorable, it moves their heart, and it transfers the principles that we're trying to get across.
Within really just a couple weeks of us finishing this piece, TBN had picked it up and actually done several stories on it. And that just never happened.
Crown Financial is a ministry that actually helps people get out of debt. And it's a recreation of the widow and oil story from what? 2 Kings.
2 Kings.
And it was all shot on location. And I was absolutely amazed at the quality of what they accomplished right there in Orlando, Florida. It's very powerful.
Well, let's do it.
Yeah, that's a little 9-minute. But the Erwin Brothers, good job, guys.
And the response to the film, I think, blew us all away. I think the quality of the film blew us all away. We really didn't know what we would get.
It was told to us by several producers it was impossible.
And for me, I've heard the story of the widow and the oil all the time, but for me to see it personalized, to see the emotions in the woman's face and to know what she was facing, and for me to actually be a part of enhancing that, I mean, it doesn't get any better than that.
And so for me, it was an unbelievable experience.
This piece was done as a pilot to test the concept to see if we could do a series.
The dream is to not just have one film. What's next is we want to do 10 of these. We want to have a series of 10 short stories, all in the same genre.
And so the stories that we're going to do are just incredible. And what I love about it is these are stories that you probably haven't seen on the big screen before. We're talking about recreating the old city of Jerusalem, recreating heaven and hell to do the rich man and Lazarus, recreating ancient Babylon. Some of the things that we want to do are way outside the box.
But this medium can be used over and over and over and over again. And my dream is that one day we look back and we see that it is still going, that people are still using these stories to see their lives transformed, turning to Jesus Christ for help. And that we may not ever see the full impact of it, but that it will be something that cannot be stopped.